right, Doug, what's next on the tour?
So here we're coming up on the mock-up of the International Space Station.
Oh, wow.
This is currently orbiting the Earth, about 250 miles up, and we have astronauts, 6 astronauts and cosmonauts living in space right now.
In this?
In this.
That's
absolutely.
crazy.
So let's take a tour. Let's go
do
start out over here.
Show me all of it, Doug. I am into this.
This is the largest laboratory, actually, on the International Space Station. This is where we sleep, and we do 2.5 hours of exercise every day.
Me too.
Now, the potty. The thing that you have to remember is...
There's no gravity.
There's no gravity,
Yeah.
so everything is floating.
Lovely.
So, Katie, that's Orion, our next spaceship. It's the spaceship that's eventually going to take us on to Mars.
Pretty sweet.
Very excited about it. Let's go take a look at Mission Control.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's definitely do that.
That's me there. And then we'll take a look at the...
Oh, wow.
This is our mission control room. This is where we control all of our flights into space. We talk to the astronauts from here. What you see at these different consoles are all the flight controllers. They each have their own disciplines that they're looking at with the rocket.
Check that out. Sorry. Hey, did you say 20 seconds? What are you counting down to?
This is the countdown to garbage time.
Wait, what?
T-minus 10.
To garbage time?
9.
I have to go.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's Super Bowl edition. I'm your host, Katie Nolan, of course. To my left is my lovely panel for the week, who we will meet in just a second. Also on the show tonight, we have Neil deGrasse Tyson. We have Jay Glazer coming by. But first, like I said, the show's changing a little bit this week. We have a panel, and I'd love to introduce them to you now. First up, we obviously have 8-time Pro Bowler, Cris Carter. You know him. Which the audience is much more excited about than they are about me, and I'm fine with it. We also have comedian and roast battle champion Sarah Tiana.
Hello.
And lastly, my new best friend, Nick Wright. That's it. That's your entire qualification for being here, is that you're my new best friend. No, he's amazing. This is going to be so great. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's get right into it. It's Monday, Super Bowl week. And the prompter's down, so everything's off to a good start. We've already got some really good stuff. Over the weekend, we had an angry rant from Tom Brady's dad, which I'm sure you heard, had a little bit of everything for everybody, bashing Roger Goodell, a little bit about Deflategate. Let's have a look. I hope.
I think any parent can understand that they'd rather take the slings and arrows in the heart than have their kids take it. And for what the league did to him, what Roger Goodell constantly lied about is beyond reprehensible as far as I'm concerned. He went on a witch hunt and got in way over his head and had to lie his way out numerous ways. Somebody that has Roger Goodell's ethics doesn't belong on any stage that Tom Brady is on.
Wow, he held back. Not the first time he's done this, though. He has gone and defended his son before. I personally kind of understand this feeling, not from the dad's point of view, but from Tom's potentially. Because my mom has taken to internet comments to defend me before. And it always gets messy, and I love the feeling behind it. I know she doesn't like people saying mean things about her daughter, but then it's just like I need her to stop because I don't want her to get involved. What do you guys think about that?
You're so lucky that your mom knows how to use the internet.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
My dad calls it texting the internet. Yeah,
Trust
he
me,
says that.
that's preferred.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you think that in this situation, Brady's dad is acting as a mouthpiece for Tom? Tom can't blast Roger Goodell. He's probably the most prominent player in the entire league. Goodell runs the league. But Brady's dad is not saying anything that Tom hasn't said to him. Right or wrong, I hear this and I say Tom thinks it was a witch hunt. Tom thinks he was wrongly, unfairly persecuted. And his dad, about once a year, comes out and says this and then falls back a little bit. Like, this is more honest than we're going to get from Tom Brady, because Tom Brady has to be very milquetoast and careful. His dad doesn't. So I think his dad's kind of speaking for him here. I love it.
Please don't ever say milk toast on our show.
Okay,
ever.
my
It's
bad.
just like it makes me think of like milk and also toast. And I'm just really not
Say
into it.
handcuff, because that's also a word the Patriots are comfortable with.
Anywho, I'm interested to know your perspective
It's an
as
Aaron
both
Hernandez
as a player and as a father.
Well, number one is you don't want to make. I have a son that plays professional football, plays in the CFL, also played in Indianapolis Colts. You don't want to make his day-to-day job more difficult than what it was. When Tom Brady Sr. came to the Super Bowl, the story wasn't him, but he made it about him because he spoke to the media. He made Tom's job more difficult. And as far as Roger Goodell, him running the NFL, and him not being fit to be on the stage with Tom Brady, like, you're insane. All right? Number one thing, I've never had a family member do anything like this. I had a brother that played professional basketball, so my mom was well schooled. But typically, most of the time I was involved in stuff like this, I was guilty, so they didn't say anything. So if I was him, I'd much rather have him watch the game, all right, keep his comments to himself, because they did do a thorough investigation, and there was enough evidence.
Let's not even.
You asked me, didn't you? They did an investigation.
I didn't ask you if you thought
Okay.
Deflategate was legit because it's, February 2017, and I think we've talked it to death, but go ahead.
Okay, well, that's why we do these shows, and that's why they brought me on here.
Yeah, that's true.
All right?
That's true.
Now, if he had cooperated with the investigation,
Which
it
he
wouldn't have
did.
been that extent,
Which he
all right?
did.
Then no, he didn't. But he didn't cooperate. He ended up getting suspended. It was justified, and his dad needed to keep his mouth quiet.
But see, you're saying those things like they're facts. Like he did cooperate.
I have
He
a
didn't
great-
give them his phone because he's got a supermodel wife and
That has
probably
not-
some naked pictures, and the league's not very good at keeping things under wraps.
Katie, we can do this. You can represent Tom Brady and New England them all you want to, okay? The evidence is the evidence. When we started the season, who was the starting quarterback for New England?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, why? Because Tom Brady got suspended.
No, because Tom Brady got railroaded.
Okay, that's your story. Do your show. Go ahead.
It's just like
Go right ahead.
this is a rule that clearly does not matter to the NFL, has never mattered. That Aaron Rodgers can go on a radio show and say, I overinflate them. I like the balls overinflated. And then like 2
who
weeks
don't like
later.
the balls bigger? Who don't like that?
Here's
It's,
the.
it's not
we
the
know
balls that
Aaron
we're talking
Rodgers
about.
does.
No, we are. Aaron
No,
Rodgers
not
likes
the-
his ball to the
That's what I'm saying. No woman's like, please, bigger balls. That's not
what-
the thing we're. I'll talk. We can offline this conversation. But I'm just saying this is a rule that the NFL does not care about until they care about it because it's Tom Brady.
Here's how we know, and I'm with you on this, that the NFL actually doesn't care.
And both of y'all crazy.
Because they were alerted before the AFC Championship game, right?
Yes.
It's one of the 3 biggest football games that would be played all year. If they thought this actually had an impact on the competitive balance, they'd stop it before the game starts. They don't run some sting operation.
Not if you had a problem with the team before an investigation.
Well, hold up,
and
Cece.
if they had.
Which the investigation showed they were not guilty
Oh,
of
yeah,
doing
you
anything
guys got
wrong.
it. You got it.
Here's the thing. This is what the Patriots do. This is what bothers people about the Patriots is they.
Tell me what they do, because I've seen them film people.
Yeah.
I've seen them do other things. You tell me what they do.
They follow the rules to the letter of the rules.
Even when
and
they were taping the
exploit
Rams
them.
before the Super Bowl?
It was found that they didn't do that. If you're saying that you trust the NFL's investigation on one hand but not on another, that's too inconsistent. The NFL investigation found that they didn't videotape the walkthrough.
But
So what was the penalty for? What was the penalty for?
I think it was for when they taped the practices of something else after. This is the point.
Go ahead, I apologize.
I just think that the rules are written in a way that yes, Belichick or whoever can find the way to exploit them. They can find the loophole. This is why Harbaugh used to always complain that he would run illegal formations. And it was like, no, technically, he's following the rules, but you're right, he found a weakness in the rule, and so we'll change the rule now. That's what the Patriots do, and that's why people get pissed off. And now everyone's going to hate me.
No,
nobody wants a person to defend them.
No, but
I want you guys all to come to Thanksgiving at my house. It'll be so fun.
Let's talk about Trump. No, I'm just kidding.
But Katie, the reality is no matter what side of the Deflategate argument you're on, one thing I think we can all agree on is if in February or damn near February of 2017, it's still a topic because the way the NFL handled it was so ham-handed. Another thing I probably shouldn't say on your show. Ham-handed, milquetoast. I'm just trying to get them all in. It's still a topic because it was so badly butchered 2 years ago that it bled into 2 other seasons. Like, I don't blame Tom Brady's daddy for defending him. Like, I get it.
His daddy.
Yeah, he calls him Tommy. I think I can call him his daddy. Like, I like the loyalty there. But it's a of all the things that we could be discussing about the Patriots and their 7th Super Bowl and Brady trying to become the greatest quarterback ever, that it's still about this idiotic deflation of footballs, it's absurd. And it's because instead of dealing with this the way any other league would have, which is, hey, cut this bleep out right now, and we'll move on to the Super Bowl. We had an investigation, a bad investigation, bad science, leaked reports, erroneous data, and now we're here 2 years later still talking about it.
Text messages from 2 random dudes that I don't care what they have to say.
But also, don't you think that if he wasn't guilty, he wouldn't have taken it to the Supreme Court?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think innocent people defend themselves.
I don't know.
There's a bunch of guys waking up this morning behind bars saying, you know something, I ain't killed that dude. I didn't slaughter him. I didn't kill them people.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on
Praise the Lord.
technically the same topic, which is that Brady this morning addressed what his dad said on, I think it was EEI. Do we have the audio?
Does the league specify which Tom Brady needs to speak tonight? Because if Tom Brady Sr. were there, I think I would listen to him after this weekend.
No, I banned my dad from talking, so he's no longer available to the media.
Man, I have tried to ban my dad from talking for years.
I'm so jealous. I wish my dad didn't talk. He'd also just be so happy that I had a boss to begin with. He'd be like, what? You have health insurance? We're so proud.
Do you think he's laughing when he says it. What do you think the conversation is that Tom had with his dad after he heard the reports of what his dad said?
He told him not to talk anymore.
You think
he
so?
told him not to say. I know so.
Yeah.
You know how they do things in New England.
Yeah.
And this is not what the Krafts wanted. It's not what Belichick wanted. It's not what Tom Brady wanted. So it's a misrepresentation of Tom. I've been a mentor to Larry Fitzgerald since he was 13 years old. Had plenty of opportunities to speak out, contract issues. When they were losing in Arizona, did he want to leave there? Was he going to be traded? Was he going to be a free agent, potentially going to New England? But no, I never said anything because I know that's not the right thing to do. All right? Let Tom and the team concentrate on what they need to do. But do I understand a family member saying something? Yes, if he had some other job besides in the National Football League, yes. But this is a rare opportunity. The whole world is watching, all right? And they're watching your son, and the focus should be on the field and his ability to generate points for New England's offense.
So, all right, so
You said that you think that he's speaking for Tom.
yeah, and Adam Carolla's got a line where he says, when it comes to business, you need to ask yourself this question before you make any decision. Will this make me happy? Will this make me money? And if the answer to both those questions is no, don't do it.
Right.
Well, sometimes telling someone...
That's what I'm going to ask myself tomorrow before I come on the show.
Sometimes...
Off to a good start, folks.
Sometimes telling someone to go to hell makes you happy. Like, Tom Brady can't do it. And I believe that Cece's right, that he probably said to his dad, got it now, you don't need to say anything else. But what he didn't say to his dad is, man, do another interview and take it back. Do another interview and apologize. He got it out there. It's there. Now Brady doesn't have to speak on it. His dad does it for him. I would, personally, man, I'd love that. Like, someone close to me, if I'm hamstrung where I can't say something.
Again, with the ham.
Oh, it's a good point. That's 3 in a row. I'm going to try to get 5 in before the end of the show. Where I'm not allowed to say something, if they do it on my behalf and I still have some plausible deniability, I think that's good fathering.
Yeah, but then your family's like getting involved in your battles, and then they've got to deal with people attacking them personally, and then you're worried about your family. I mean, maybe it's because mine was my mom, but I was like, Mom, they're gonna find your page and they're gonna do things to you, and I don't want you to get backlash from my crazy. It was actually crazy.
That's
Cowboys
what
fans.
Tom was worried about, the pictures of his dad being in his phone. That's why he didn't turn his phone in.
Yeah, that's what it was. Also, where did they shoot that
visual?
They shot
Daddy. Hey, Daddy.
There's a whole thing of his dad like walking down a set of bleachers. Like, what is that?
Oh,
yeah.
Where did he shoot that?
I don't know.
Like his old high school in California. Like, oh, we're gonna do a think piece.
Speaking of the Patriots, we got to Houston over the weekend, and so did the Falcons, but we are all anxiously awaiting the arrival of the Patriots. And it just so happens their plane, from what I've heard, is supposed to land and arrive here while we're on the air. So we decided that we would send out FS1's Rachel Bonnetta, Garbage Time's Super Bowl correspondent, for us this week, to the airport to wait for them to get here. Let's go live to her now. Hey, Rach, how you doing? Do we have the Patriots?
Not yet. Just want to say really happy to be here, but been here for a while, about 2 hours, and they are not here. So we're gonna keep it locked. I'm sweating a little bit. I'm getting hungry. There's a lot of people here. We're making friends, but they're gonna be here at some point, right? So we're just gonna keep waiting it out. We'll be here, over here. Please don't come to us until they're actually here.
Yeah, well, okay, so we've got like 40 seconds to kill here.
Is she on the tarmac?
Is there like anyone around you that looks important? Give me something else. I need to, live TV, Rach.
Okay, I'll give you the lay of the land here. We're at an airport hangar. There's one porta potty that's being split between about 100 of us, so things are gonna get interesting. And we're having fun, you know, it's Super Bowl week. I'm wearing black pants, so my legs are on fire. And, you know, they're going to be here in about 40 minutes, so we are ready. He's going to be right over here. It's going to be awesome.
Pressure on the plane.
Rachel, thank you. We're going to check in with you in a little bit. Find a Patriot, or we're going to have the show canceled, and that's on you. But we'll check in with you a little bit later. Thanks for doing this for us. All right, coming up, folks, Jay Glazer is going to stop by, but next we sat down with Neil deGrasse Tyson. We talked about space and football and all kinds of awesome stuff.
Patriots look really strong.
Sure do.
It's just, oh, that play worked. Okay. Oh, let's pitch back to the quarterback, and he'll throw and pull back to him. Oh, he caught it. The ease with which they did that, I think, should bring fear into any opponent they face.
Bring it on, Atlanta. So we should teach football players to dance.
So thinking about and knowing what your body is doing in any instant is one of the great dividends of having danced. And so...
The other is the tips, you know what I'm saying? Had the most nerve-wracking A block of my life. We've got the rest of my interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson coming up in just a second. But first, I want to open this up to the panel. Neil and I talked a lot about kickers and why they're missing a lot of extra points. Nick, I'm curious to know, you think that we don't need kickers?
The idea, kickers only exist in football because they've always existed. But if someone, let's say football didn't exist.
That's not true. The Browns need them just for points.
Okay, it's a good point. But Katie, if football didn't exist and I'm pitching it to you, and I've described the entire game, and then I'm like, but wait, one other thing. We're going to add one guy on the roster. He doesn't play football. In fact, he plays soccer. He's a soccer player. In fact, there's special rules. You're not allowed to hit him because he is a soccer player. And the whole goal is touchdowns. The whole goal, you get six points for a touchdown. If you get kind of close to a touchdown, we put these sticks in the back of the end zone. You have the soccer guy kick it through. You get half of a touchdown. You would say, you've ruined the game. Why are you doing that?
But we're not inventing football right now.
Right, so but we can still get rid of them.
But it came from a place like the kicks used to be the important part. So it's football. It used to be you would get into the end zone. That gave you the chance to try.
Right, but the guy who scored had to be the one who kicked. Now you have these specialists from Australia come over. No, we don't need them. You know what real football players, how they're different than everyone else? Like this guy? Kickers look like, kickers are me. I shouldn't be on the field. Out there, you run out, you get blocked, you get a penalty. No. They shouldn't exist in nature in football. Absolutely not.
Do you treat them like they're part of the team? Like, were you friends with the kickers on your team?
Maybe one kicker my whole career. Maybe. It's just that your lives are totally different. I'm a wide receiver, so it's always about the wide receivers. I always thought I was getting robbed because I scored a bunch of touchdowns. Then they bring out this guy, and he does nothing. He gets 1 point. I did all the work. I should get 7 instead of 6. I don't even know why we even need the guy. And if we're going to eliminate a position, eliminate the kickers, and make it a little festive, add another wide receiver. Add another wide receiver to the mix. Oh, absolutely.
All right, okay. Well, let's see what Neil thinks. Now, we have a lot to talk about. First thing I want to address is the tweet. Sometimes I wonder if we'd have flying cars by now had civilization spent a little less brain energy contemplating football.
Right, so it's not only the intensity with which we pay attention to the games, but there's the pregame show, the postgame show, fantasy football, office pool football. There's the conversation that you have in the bar when it otherwise gets awkward, you go to football, and then it's a common denominator, no matter who you're having the conversation with. So I just wondered, how much time is this? Rather than calculate it, I just postulated that maybe all this intellectual human capital in civilization would have made other discoveries.
Do you really think that the people who are thinking about football, if they weren't thinking about football, would think about smart science things? Because I think they would think about boobs, like nachos. Like, I don't think these are the great minds of society.
The anatomy of the heterosexual male brain.
Yeah, like I'm not sure necessarily we would have advancements in science.
Buffalo wings, beer, boobs.
You must be awful to watch football with.
No!
Because someone's like rooting for a touchdown and you were like, the trajectory of his path was not even close to the acute angle. These are the smartest words I know. Obtuse, protractor.
But you gotta love you some
meniscus.
acute and obtusosity. You got
Is that a word?
No, it's not. I just made it up.
It is now.
Obtusosity. Obtuse, that's a good word.
Are you doing, yeah, I am very obtuse. Are
Why
you
don't you
doing
talk
math?
about my other football tweet?
What other
about
football
was it
tweet?
the Bengals? I forgot who it was, about a year ago.
Yeah.
There's in overtime, after there was the exchange of ball, so now it's sudden death overtime, they kick a field goal from 50 yards, of course, as it must be, and, well, 40 yards out plus the 10 plus the hiking distance. So it was like 52-yard field goal, and there it was. And if there's tense, right? Everybody's silent, and the ball comes up, and it careens off the left upright and goes in for the win.
Wow.
And I said,
I remember this.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember this
That's
tweet.
what I'm saying. So I'm there and I'm saying, wait, the angle of this, how long is it? So I checked the stadium on its configuration, what's longitude and latitude, and I said, I did a quick calculation, and I tweeted, the winning field goal in that game was aided by a 1/3 of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's rotation.
That is the nerdiest tweet I've ever heard in my life.
Here's the thing, because think about how many balls either bounce off the upright and go out or bounce and go in. And we have a round ball hitting a cylindrical.
Kind of,
Well,
right?
it's a curved surface. There are no flat surfaces on a football. That's what I mean by round. Okay, and the goalpost is a cylinder. So you have a round thing hitting a round thing. Fractions of an inch matter.
We've had problems with kickers this year, missing field goals.
Why are they missing all the extra points?
Well, they moved
Did
it
10
back,
yards make that
but
much
it's-
difference?
Right?
It's 10.
You're the goddamn
It's
scientist.
10 yards. I think they were lazy. They got so lazy with the original extra point that no one paid attention to the angle. It just went through the uprights. If you take it back 10 yards, you could calculate how many of those kicks that were the 1 point extra point would have missed in its day. I don't think the kickers are less accurate. I think they have the same accuracy, but they got lazy kicking that close over all those years. Just take a look at those angles and put it back, and you'll see which ones would have missed.
Give one tip to Steven Gostkowski, the kicker for the Patriots, of how he makes sure to get that ball. Like, is it an angle he's attacking the ball
now
at?
I don't know the air currents.
Right.
There won't be sort of northerly winds that will interfere with the ball.
But there's that damn rotation of the earth.
Yeah, and now I have to look to see what the orientation of the stadium is. If the stadium is oriented approximately north-south, you want to lean left by a fraction of an inch.
Hear that, Steven?
Because the earth will then bring it back to the right for you.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Patriots look really strong.
Sure do.
And you know, they look casually strong. There's like, there's a touchdown. There's a touchdown. No, I saw the game. They did not look like they were trying hard.
Yeah.
It's just, that play worked. Okay. Oh, let's pitch back to the quarterback, and he'll throw and pull back to him. He caught it. The ease with which they did that, I think, should bring fear into any opponent they face.
Bring it on, Atlanta.
Now, Atlanta, however,
oh God,
don't get Yankee on us here, okay?
Yeah.
I learned recently, I just saw it on a graphic on the TV, all the sum championships of all Atlanta professional teams, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, comes to one. 1998 Atlanta Braves. They are hungry for a championship.
Starving.
They are starving for a championship. They want, they will accept nothing
But you're a science
other
guy.
than a championship.
That doesn't affect
This
whether or not they
is where the human spirit rises up, and it transcends physical abilities. What it does is it takes your physical abilities to places they have never gone before. How else could it be possible that you would ever set a world record in track and field? How is that even possible unless in that moment your spiritual energy rose up and made you perform greater than at any previous time in your life? That is the definition of a world record. That is mind over body in every one of those cases. So Atlanta wants it. Atlanta needs it. And they want it, I bet, more badly than the Patriots' 8th win or whatever. What's the number?
100.
Whatever.
This would be their 100th Super Bowl
It'll
win.
be their billionth Super Bowl. Okay? So watch out for the spirit factor.
The spirit factor. Chris, you made a lot of faces during that interview. I'm curious to know. You agree? You disagree?
Well, there's two things that just really stuck out for me. I need the earth to rotate a little more to get him out them tight jeans.
Yeah.
And number two is he the only brother in America can't play football nor basketball. That's why he's doing all that mess.
All right, guys. Up next, Jay Glazer is going to join us. And actually, right now, Jay is out on the Katie Nolan practice field, brought to you by Jason Whitlock's Fedoras. Wally's on the phone, folks. Just taking people. We'll be right back. There in our 84 Lumber Green Room, other poor gentleman that Jay Glazer just almost murdered. Looks like they're all right, though, so that's good. Good job out there, guys. Also, look at this get. Join us tonight on FS1 for Super Bowl opening night for the Patriots and Falcons media press conferences. John Lynch will join the coverage that he just left and will speak about his new role as 49ers GM for the first time. Go us. I don't know how we booked that. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. Definitely check it out. Yeah, obviously, while we're talking about John Lynch. Interesting, right, guys?
Yeah.
Interesting hire.
No experience, right? I mean, someone we like and wish the best, but what jumped out to me is 6 years. Like, that's a guaranteed contract for 6 years for a guy who's never done the job. There's an alternate universe, to call back to Neil deGrasse Tyson, where the 49ers, instead of choosing Trent Baalke over Jim Harbaugh, they choose Jim Harbaugh over Trent Baalke, and that organization's probably still in good shape.
Probably like the normal universe.
Right.
Should have happened.
And now, and I mean, I think John, I think he can do a good job, but that's a 6-year guaranteed contract for someone that's never done it is bold.
I know. I mean, I think the last time he was doing one thing for 6 years, it was his freshman year in college. Right? It was like one class.
Do you get it?
Just a drive-by.
Do you get it? Do you get it? Well, a person who's definitely got a lot of insight on this, so we should probably bring him on now and ask him about it. We got Jay Glazer, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, the chair's on wheels. I know it's hard to maneuver. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
And for killing
Got a little whiplash there.
Yeah, you killed those people. We got to talk John Lynch.
Are they okay? Those guys okay?
No, they're
We're all right?
dead, but it's live TV, none of our
Sorry, I
concern.
couldn't get off the phone.
Yeah, really. Crushing people on the phone.
Got a job to do.
All right, speaking of jobs to do,
Yeah.
John Lynch. You know him very well. I know him kind of well. I've seen him get drunk and sing God Bless America,
Yeah.
which is I'm a huge fan of that. Tell me about this.
Make sure you sing along or 47 Red comes out. Yes,
Exactly.
no doubt.
Tell me about this deal. What, how, why?
It's actually been in the works for a little while, and it was not something I know to put out there like he was seeking it out. That wasn't the case. He was talking to them. And here is where John Lynch.
So you're saying he didn't call Shanahan
Yeah, but
and
he was
try to
calling.
get
He was talking. He wasn't like, "Hey, can I come? Can I get this job?" That's not how it was. Right? And in the end, he met with them. They still had to do some convincing, a lot of convincing to him to take this job. He went out there, and when he talked to them, he did not hold anything back. It was all the stuff. And here's where I do think a guy like John Lynch is very good for this. We all know John Lynch here. Some of us will.
I have
not
no idea.
really. He's not a drama guy at all. Zero drama.
No.
Zero drama.
Like Mary
And
J. Blige.
That place is all drama, right?
No more drama.
Yeah, it's. So you needed somebody in there, I think, with this. Yeah, you want me to?
Sorry. I wanted to get a Mary J. Blige reference.
You did it. You're just dying to do that, aren't you?
2017.
You're not talking about Rob Ryan yet?
Oh, okay.
You like that? He's going to hire Rob. No.
It's not funny.
I know,
I
I'm sorry
love
about
Rob
that.
Ryan, for anybody who doesn't know, which is this entire studio who's here to see Cris Carter and is like, who is this woman and when is she going to stop talking?
So here's the deal. He was talking to Kyle, he was talking to the 49ers, and it was really about kind of giving them advice, trying to help them out, and they were like, hey, would you actually be interested in this? He said, I would talk to you guys about this. So this had been going on for just a little while there, but in the end, the 49ers, like you had said, they went through all this drama here in the last few years. And I think they looked and said, we got to do something different, where John Lynch is different than what Matt Millen did. He's not, I think he realized he doesn't have the answers, but he does have this thing where he has no politics to him. He has this attitude where if you know, he kind of has no business being in the league. That's what I love about it. And yet he's made 12 Pro Bowls, whatever it is. He has outworked the world. He made you fear when you came over the middle. He's a different kind of cat.
I don't think that's going to be useful as a GM, but
I think
I
it
get
will.
what
I think
you're
it's that same attitude. And if he's, to knock somebody out in one of the NFL owners' meetings, so be it.
Here's the thing. Schefter said that John Lynch spent the night at Jed York's house, which to me sounds like a sleepover.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted you to clarify. Did he sleep over the boy king Jed York's house?
Some snuggies.
Is that what happened, or does that mean like he spent the night? Is that like when my dad said, "Did you hook up with your brother?" He means something totally different.
He actually went to Atlanta at first.
Mine
and to go meet with Kyle and talk to them, but he spent the last few days. So it wasn't like a slumber party.
I don't want us to have
It wasn't like they had a chaperone. But when you do have these meetings, yeah, you tend to spend a couple of days with them.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they shack up together.
Okay, well, so you said that he didn't have the experience necessarily as a GM,
Right.
and but that could be to his advantage. A columnist in San Francisco actually suggested that maybe the team hired the wrong employee. They said, quote, do we have this? The only way Lynch would have been further outside the norm is if he had hired Katie Nolan of Garbage Time.
Did you almost mess up your own show?
Yeah, I did,
Really?
because I got nervous and I read the quote wrong. Whose resume includes bartender, wit, and on-air raconteur, though she might have gone to Jaguars camp one summer. Yeah, I did
And
go to
what's the
Jaguars
point of
camp.
that? So that does make you-
that's saying, like,
makes you
are
eligible?
you a future GM?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Chris,
no,
you gonna
I like
be
to
a
do it all
GM?
from behind the scenes there.
No, I don't think anybody's going to call me. I mean, it's a great opportunity for John. John's a great guy.
Yeah.
But do you know how many quality scouts, how many grunt people have been working years and years for this opportunity? They passed over a lot of good people. Forget about the minority candidates. You know how many African-American
did.
coaches that have been working and are qualified to be able to get this position? February 3rd, 2013, San Francisco was in the Super Bowl. All right?
Doesn't sound crazy now.
They were in the Super Bowl. Now, they are a million miles away from that day to where they are today. Now, I hope John is successful, but this is a job that there's only a few of them. It's just like a head coach. It's not like you can go out on the street and get a guy to be a good head coach in the NFL. I think they could have hired a lot more competent people. I hope he's successful, but when you look at it, do they really know what they're doing? How do you build a championship in San Francisco?
But look at all the personnel guys that they have hired that just blow it. Look at Ryan Grigson. So I don't buy in that you have to have this, personnel background, because most of these, well, a lot of these guys, the guys that don't work out, they come in and they change. They change into somebody completely different. John Lynch is going to change anybody else. We all know who he is.
What type of input is John going to have on drafting
But look at John Elway. Same thing, right? John Elway didn't have
Elway, he owned a
car dealership?
A bunch of car dealerships, so he had managed a bunch
He
of
had
people.
owned things before.
I mean,
Management is tough.
Can I ask a question real quick? Why 6 years? That's the part that jumped out to me.
Oh, I think just on his end, I'm going to get with mine, absolutely. If he's going to leave a great job like this, hey, that shows the kind of negotiator he really is, right? I mean, if I'm him, I'm going, you guys want to do this? I'm going to take what I can.
I think the 6-year job is better. For me, I would hire Mike Shanahan as my general manager and sit 2 years under him or work with him.
See, but he's going to bring in guys, and that's what we talked last night. He knows that, okay, same with John Elway. He had to bring in personnel guys. He's going to bring in personnel guys. He's going to bring in people that are experienced. And the reason why this was released, this whole thing was done yesterday, is so people now realize, oh, you know what? Hey, there's John Lynch. I want to kind of hitch my wagon to John Lynch. And it kind of opens up to some more of the candidates who are out there who can help me out. He knows that, hey, I can't go in there and do this myself. I have to hire quality people. I think he'll hire the right quality
But
people.
if you're a franchise like the 49ers who needs somebody ideally that's like, look, here's how we do it. Why would you want to hire a guy that's like, look,
because you want
someone's
his
going to help me
attitude.
find out how to do it.
You want his attitude. You want his person. It's his.
If
you
you're
want
giving
that.
him
You
a
want that
well-oiled
franchise.
machine, I
you want
get
that,
it,
Yeah,
but-
but you want that franchise to take on his personality because they're a mess. They're a complete
They
mess.
are a
They had a
mess.
personnel guy in there, and Trent Baalke, right? And as you said, what's happened with him and Jim Harbaugh? We saw what happened the last couple of regimes there. Again, I reported the last week of the season that they had told Adam Gase they were hiring him. and at the last second said, "Oh no, forget it. Actually, we're going to go with Jim Tomasula."
Smooth
It has
moves,
been,
guys.
yeah, exactly.
I love me some Tom Sula, but Adam
It has
Gase.
been a calamity of errors. So, they've had personnel guys in there, haven't gotten it right. You go out there and you get a guy who's saying, you know what, we're hoping we have the next John Elway. John Lynch is, I think, a good choice for that.
San Francisco the last 4 years has made a bunch of stupid decisions.
Yes.
Now, we don't know where this one's going to work out. Now, they do have a quality person.
Yes.
But the thing is, it's not about quality people. It's about a quality general manager. Can he put a championship perspective in that locker room and in that front office? Because look who they're going against. Arizona. They got a championship atmosphere. What about Seattle? They're still kicking booty. All right? And then they got the Rams. So the Rams, them and the Rams can bring up the bottom there in the West.
I just don't think that
Come on,
I
you
would
know
give
better,
up.
Katie.
Why
You're
would
not
you give-
telling the truth.
No, I'm trying to figure out. I like John Lynch,
When
and I
someone
also
writes
don't
an
want to get
article and say
fired
that
for
you
being
could be
mad
the general
to you and-
manager.
No, but again,
Hey,
there's.
I could be a GM.
It doesn't mean we could all do
Do
it.
we have the tail of the tape? Show the tail of the tape. I could be GM. Show it to me immediately. I'm really bad at live TV. I think my show's getting canceled. There it is. Tail of the tape, ladies and gentlemen. Me and
This
John
looks
Lynch.
like a really bad version of divorce court right there.
This looks like an episode
You
of
are
Judge
not the
Judy.
father.
Okay, so we only had the graphic that the tail of the tape was coming, but we didn't actually get any tails or any tape. Note to self, make a pivot.
I'm not defending him because I like John Lynch. I know the guy. I think many around the league knows the guy, knows the attitude, knows the work ethic, knows the type of traits that he has, and you're saying, hey, there's a guy who, again, he's no drama. We want somebody to take on that personality. That's the personality you want.
What's really interesting to me is what you're saying. If you're right, and I have no reason to believe you're not, it changes the way we typically evaluate general managers. What you're saying is it is not picking him because we think he's going to get us the best value at the top of the third round. It's because he's going to install a culture within the organization that is going to trickle down to everyone, which I think could be fascinating, and maybe that is the right way to do it, but that's typically not how we do these jobs. We don't typically do it to where it's the GM's job is to instill a culture that then permeates the rest of the team. We think the GM's job is to win trades, draft the right players, find the right, get the right personnel on the team. It's almost like he's the GM/life coach.
But it is both. Because even if you have a good personnel guy and you have a ton of drama, your organization is going to fall apart. You have to do both, and that's where a lot of these guys don't really get it. You've really got to do both things in order to be successful.
I want to be a Mercedes, so I'm going to sleep in my garage at night and wonder if I wake up tomorrow and be a 550. That's what I want to be.
I think you're just saying that they're looking for an outsider, like somebody that might not know everything, so maybe he's going to approach the system in a different way because he's not.
It seems very, in San Francisco, seems like a very tech culture type of thing. Like it's not necessary. We just want as many smart, motivated people as possible in positions of power, and we think that will work. And by the way, I really hope it does work.
Me too.
Because I want to be a GM too. And like I can't I don't know that I can draft players, but I think I can motivate people. I think I have a
Again,
good
we
work
said we
ethic.
have to have no drama. That takes all of us out.
I want it to work. I want it to work because I believe they should have been done this because players play for years. In the front office, they look at players who play the game as if they don't have any experience. And we do have a bunch of experience. There's guys struggling in coaching, former players trying to get into coaching, trying to get in the front office position. This is not new. John, they went outside the norm to be able to do something. And if you're a minority candidate or you're a coach in the NFL or you're a former player, you look at this with some type of shade saying, wow, how they went about doing this doesn't seem to be quite, on an even playing field.
His word carries a lot of weight inside teams.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about the broadcasting and what it means by that, about the production meetings, what Kyle said, or whatever. There's a lot of teams that bring him in their meetings, that talk to him through, because they know he's not just this, this TV figure. The guy knows football, he knows winners, and he knows how to outwork the world.
Yeah, well, I hope it works out, genuinely, because like you said, I just found out I can't even do live TV, so I need to get another job. We just got word that the Patriots plane has landed, so we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to go live to the airport with Rachel Bonnetta. Stick around. I'm so happy. Thank you for coming. Welcome back to Garbage Time, live from Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. We've been following this for minutes, full minutes, and the Patriots plane has landed. We're going to go out live to the airport with Rachel Bonnetta, who has an update. Rachel?
Guys, like you said, breaking news. My prayers have finally been answered. I'm sure you can see behind me this gigantic plane. I can almost see Tom Brady in the window. They're going to be, okay, so let me lay it out for you. This is what we've been told. They're going to stop, which they've just did. The doors will open, and then we will see the players coming out from either door. They didn't give us that much information. So we're going to see, there's so many questions on my mind. Is Tom Brady going to be wearing his Uggs? He just got off probably a kind of long flight. Is he going to be comfort wear? What are we seeing? Also, in other news, I found some snacks. I found some string cheese. So we're good. We're
Rachel,
good. My mission has been accomplished.
Sounds like you're describing how one gets off of a plane. It's not really news.
I did, yes.
I think most people watching and here have done that before. We're looking more for things like,
you don't know that.
You know, about the people on the plane and what they're up to. Did you talk to Belichick?
Not sure about that information just yet. Once the doors open, then I will be able to provide, said information. So we'll go from there. But happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Real happy to have you. Again, real happy to have you. So there's some stairs that are being pulled up right now, it looks like. Do you have any information on?
Yeah, one set of stairs.
Yeah. Okay.
Things are happening. The stairs is going towards the door.
Oh,
good. The excitement is palpable. Some would say it's getting spicy over here. With the heat. A man just looked at me when I said spicy. It's fine. But it's an exciting time. They've arrived in Houston.
This is lovely. The man next to you, does he have any thoughts on the plane? I'm just trying to give you something to kill some time, Rach. We have the whole block dedicated to you here.
After if it's Kraft cheese that she's got.
I think he might be a little busy, but hi, sir. How are you? Can I ask you a quick question? Yeah, no, he's not into it. He's uncomfortable with the fact that I said spicy earlier. So we're gonna move on from that.
Okay, Rach, we're gonna come back to you in a little bit. Eat your string cheese, and then we'll check back in, hopefully with a player or, anybody that isn't that guy next to you. Eat the cheese. And we'll come back. Okay, great. We're gonna go to break. More Garbage Time live from Houston coming up. Don't go anywhere, okay, guys? Oh, look! Let's go back to it. Go back to it. Wait. We are not going to commercial. This is live TV. We are at the plane.
That's not Kraft.
That's not Kraft. That's just an old.
Yeah, here they come, guys. The doors have opened.
Oh, look, there's Kraft. That's Kraft. That's Kraft and Suncraft, right? Rachel, what do you got?
Oh, Warcraft. Is that Warcraft?
Yeah, you got the.
I'm just hearing a whole lot of yelling from you guys, but there are people exiting with suits. I see no Uggs yet, but we still got a lot of time.
What are they being handed?
They're looking excited. They're in their track suits and their hat. This is like a red carpet. Do you want me to hop over the gate and ask them who they're wearing, or are we good on that?
Did you bring the garbage time hats that I asked you to bring? Did you want to hand them the garbage time hats?
No. Probably those
garbage
hats that
time
videotape
hats.
things.
You guys are completely unprepared for this. You sent me 5 hours early.
Well, Rach, that's TV, kid. This is how it works, okay? Welcome to the big leagues.
Does the pilot
prompter
fly with
went
the
down in
window
the show,
open?
and I had to read off a script. All right, who do we got here? I can't see. It's a lot of white dudes.
It's the Patriots.
Lots of must be the receiving corps.
Or the Patriots.
Oh, they're receiving hats as they get off the plane. They do not look like garbage time hats.
Yes,
maybe that's your producer's fault. I don't know, but they're here.
The whole thing is my producer's fault. Rach, we're going to go to break because we have to legally. We'll come back to you. Try to talk to somebody. Grab one of those people. We'll be right back, folks.
Those are Carolina Panthers.
Welcome back to Garbage Time Super Bowl edition. Guys, before the break, we were checking in at the Houston airport as the Patriots were arriving. Let's take a look at that footage now. That's a great lower third. Tom Brady exits plane. Guys, what a performance there from the star quarterback. That's why that man's the GOAT.
Wow.
Yep, walked down the stairs, didn't trip.
Look at their suitcases. That's really good.
Good Lord, look at that sports coat on that guy. What color? You think it's Easter?
Is that Tom?
Wow. These people are dressed
That's
up.
like a teal or something?
He's having some trouble with his suitcase. Can somebody help him out? Like,
Is it safe to walk underneath a plane like that? I hope not.
It's also really bad.
They're gonna lose now.
Yeah, really bad luck. If you guys don't want to walk under a ladder, maybe we don't walk under a plane wing.
Please walk into a mirror and break it. That would be fantastic.
Our resident Falcons fan for people that didn't know.
Really. Oh, yeah, that's right. She's
I
a
think
Falcons
that's Dante Hightower. He's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's also super tall. He could have hit his head on that plane.
There's a lot of people.
I don't know why the captain flew with his window open and that flag hanging out. That seems very unprofessional and
Well,
unsafe.
you know, big thanks to Rachel Bonnetta for, I think she just quit. She left. But thanks for getting us that footage. That's all the time we have today, guys. Thank you so much to Neil deGrasse Tyson and Jay Glazer, and to our amazing panel, Cris Carter, Sarah Tiana, and Nick